Yo, Gunfreaknation, how y'all doing out there to my fellow brothers and sisters? You know, I started doing these home invasion videos like 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago. Um, and unfortunately, home invasions happen every day and it's going to continue to happen. It's never going to stop. But my message to you is you can stop it when it comes to your door. Now, I used to start my videos off like this. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. You hear a funky ass savage climbing through your window, trying to slide underneath your door, kicking in your door. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, especially if you don't own a firearm? That's how I started it off, and I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go old school on this, man, because I'm telling you right now, home invasions is more prevalent and happening more than ever now. More than ever should you be armed. I can't think of a more important, more serious time that you take this serious. You should be armed. It's crazy out here. I looked it up. I Googled it, man. Home invasions happen every single day, multiple times a day across this whole country. And there is no reason for you to not have a gun to protect your life, to protect your family. If you have a family, to protect your family. Mainly to protect your family. It happens. You don't never want to be on the other side of the story, where you are being victimized and people, reading about your fate in the newspaper or on TV on the news. Okay? We got savages out there. Why you call them savages? Because they do savage shit. Think about it. You got somebody that's bold enough, crazy enough, hopped on drugs enough to just randomly come to your house and force their way inside and rob and in some cases unalive you. Okay? I'm not gonna mention the horrible things that they willing to do to you. But I will tell you that home invasions ain't about running up in your house and tying everybody up and they steal all your stuff, your belongings, your valuables. No, it's more sinister these days. That's the 80s, early 90s. We got professional savages that they coming in, they cutting, they pulling your electric meter. They going in your backyard, in your yard, pulling your meter. You ain't gonna have no power. They got cell phone jammers, signal jammers. They got jammers that will, block your security system from going off. So we got these savages have gotten tactical and strategic. But one thing still remains the same. Their whole sole purpose is to come in and torment you, torture you. They want to do physical harm. Think about the mindset of that type of person, man. It's a savage. They coming in expecting to have a violent confrontation with you. They don't know whether you got a gun or not, but they still bold enough to come up in your house and invade your space. So if they're willing to do that, man, you have to put them down. But see, a lot of people out there think it can never happen to them. So therefore, what you need guns for? That's the police job. You don't have to have no guns. I hate guns. I don't like guns. Just call the police. That's what 911 is for. But don't you know 911 is a joke? Would you actually bet your life on the police arriving there on scene in time. When, police come in minutes, when seconds matter. You can lose your life. You can be unalived. A family member could be unalived in seconds, in a matter of seconds, at the pull of a trigger, at the swing of a hammer, after the, being stabbed. We got evil people out there. Evil people that have no respect for human life. A lot of these savages, man, they taking drugs. They trying to feed their habits. A lot of them is just sinister. They got devious, intentions because they're hopped up on drugs and stuff. A lot of these drugs have sexual stimulants that, it just makes them horny. And they trying to, come up in there and rape you. I know YouTube don't like that word, but I got to keep it real with y'all, man. I'm not trying to sugarcoat shit. That's what they want to do. Rape you and maybe even, if you got a girlfriend, a wife, or whatever, she's going to be a target too. So you have to understand the mind of a savage. This is a beast. This is a demon, man. They coming up in there, and what they want to do is they hoping. If you don't have a gun, that's a savage's wet dream right there. They get off on that because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these perverts and degenerates, man, they get off on breaking up in somebody. You think this is the first time if they target you? Do you think this is their first time doing that? Most certainly not. This is not their first time doing it. A lot of these people are savages. They get off on it, right? They fantasize about it, man. It's like a fantasy, like a movie playing in their head. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the house. I'm gonna study when they leave and when they come back, and we know they're gonna be at home at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. But they fantasizing about what they're gonna do to you before they do it. And at some point, they're not gonna be able to hold that urge, and they're gonna act out their fantasy. They sick, disgusting, nasty, foul fantasy. So they plan it out. The minute that they step foot on your property, they are already aroused. Okay? They are already erect. And they ready to do some damage. So once when they take that crowbar and they pry open your door, pry open your window, and ain't no alarm, no window, for they already done put the meter, they coming up in there. And once when they confront you, and especially if they see that you don't have a gun, we up in here. Now what? What you gonna do? You can't call the police because they got your phone jammed up. Or you couldn't make it to your phone in time. So it's your call. And when I say literally your call, if you don't have a gun to protect you and your family, man, ain't no calling no 911. They're not going to get there in time. They might have a jam blocker. You can call on Jesus. You can call on Jesus all you want. But all he gonna do is say, I gave you something called wisdom, a brain. You should have used it and got you an AR-15 or some type of gun to defend yourself. You might be coming to see me a whole lot sooner. Because you wasn't savage ready. You wasn't prepared. Okay? I'm from Detroit. I'm in Detroit right now. And I remember how it was in the 80s and 90s when you had this professional crew of home invaders that listen, your jewelry, your valuables, that was the afterthought. All right? They came in there everywhere, every house that they hit. They sexually assaulted the residents. Okay? They raped them, brutally raped them, gang raped. I'm talking about horrible, sick stuff, man. When you're dealing with an animal like that, and to call them an animal is that's foul, because even the animals, the real animals, don't behave like that. Okay? These monsters are savages, man. Some of the stuff that they do. And nowadays, they don't just target the women for sexual assault. They target the men too. The worst thing, they make an example out of the man. The worst thing you can do to a man is make him bend over and he take it in the butt right in front of his wife. You let me know, if they survive that marriage, do you think that marriage will be the same? Even if they try to stick together, they're going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives. They're going to be traumatized. And a lot of them don't make it. They break up because she's never going to want the husband to touch her again. She's always going to secretly, deep down, blame him for not being able to protect her. And she got every right to feel that way. She got every right to feel that way. What a lot of people don't understand is that when you let these savages get the drop on you, the sheer amount of terror that they inflict on you, you will never be the same. Can you imagine being tied up at gunpoint? You don't have no control of you don't have no control over your over the situation. You have to do what they tell you to do, or you get unalived. Okay? Can you imagine someone, forcing you to do horrible things at gunpoint, and you don't have, it's nothing you can do about it? They got control. I call it the God mode complex. They're coming up in there. And if you don't do whatever they tell you to do, then they got control over whether you live or whether you die. That's not the place that you want to be in. You don't never want to be in that situation. Hell, you don't ever want to be in that situation where you got to run to your phone, or, don't place yourself into a situation where you got to run like a bitch, hide in your own house, and hope and pray that the police get there in time. You know what I'm saying? You just don't never put yourself, man, have enough integrity, have enough manhood and womanhood for you women out there to, have the mindset to be like, nah, I can't go out like that, man. My life is worth something. You're not going to just come up and run up in my house and just violate me and my family on every level. I've had people reach out to me that the things that they went through, in that home invasion, the things that they had to endure. I had a brother reach out to me and tell me how they tied him up, how they pistol whipped him, how he had to hear the sounds of his wife being violated sexually. You know what I'm saying? He was like, T, I can't stop hearing her screams and moans. I just can't stop hearing it. It plays in my head over and over and over, and there was nothing I could do about it. And I wish I would have been armed. This is not to be taken lightly, man. This is serious. And it happens every day. And I get it. A lot of people be like, well, T, it usually don't randomly happen. It usually be somebody that, that know you, or that, they're setting you up, they plotting on you, home invasion. You just never know. You never know. To be honest with you, man, you really can't trust no one. You can't trust anybody. You really can't. But yes, it does happen randomly, where they can just randomly select your house. Or you can be out and about, and for whatever reason, they focus on you and they follow you back to your home. And they just decide to, case the joint, watch your movements, and they decide to act upon it, man. You just never know what the other person's intention is. That's why I say, even when you are out in the world outside, when you're not in your home, you have to pay attention to your surroundings. Always be aware of the environment that you're in, because you just never know who watching you and what their intention is. But you don't want to ever be in that situation where you are hopeless, because I'm gonna be straight up. If you don't have a gun, you hopeless. You hopeless. Meaning you can't defend yourself. Well, I got a bat. I got a knife over here. I got this sword over here. I got a taser. I got some tear gas, mace. None of that is effective against a savage, a determined savage with a gun. Especially if he got an AR-15 or an AK-47. You're not going to stand a chance. Hell, even if you had a handgun, you're going to still be outgunned. That's why I say, look, man, have your handgun, but use that handgun to get to your rifle, to get to your AR, okay? To get to your shotgun, especially if it's a tactical shotgun that hold multiple, of shells, multiple rounds, You just got to be ready, man. I mean, this happens on a daily basis. Home invasions happen every day, multiple times a day. And it don't matter. You cannot be a soft target. Think about your life. Think about your family. If you're out there and you're watching this video, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you. But if you really love your family, if you really love yourself, which you should do, you need to go out there and get armed. Buy you a gun. Do your research. Find out what works for you, what feel comfortable in your hand, and get it to the range. A lot of these ranges got, gun shops inside the range. Rent one of their guns. And if it feel right in your hands, if you can handle that recoil, you comfortable with it, and it functions, then that's the one that you want. I can't pick it for you because I'm not you. You got to be the one that picked the best Funky Town sent a tool for you. You did? You understand? You have to be the one. When it comes to your security and your well-being, that's on you. I cannot suggest nothing for you. I can give you advice. But at the end of the day, it all falls down on you. That's what's good for you. You know, because I get that all the time. T, what's the best gun for home defense? The best one for you. But you got to get out there and, you know, and train with it, man. Shoot it. You know, practice with it, man. You got to have the mental fortitude to know what to do in the time of need. Or else you just, you know, you can have 1,000 guns, but if you don't know shit about them guns, and if you ain't properly trained, what good is it all? You'll be messed up and, you know, and did something to yourself by accident. You got to know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on with these lights. Maybe that's the that's the savages that's trying to you know. I hope I got my fucking time sender. I don't like having it out no more on YouTube. YouTube be trying to block my channels, man. Every time they demonetize it, and they threatened me with a strike the last time I had, you know, guns on my channel. So I try not to present them because I love y'all and I need to keep this channel going to spread the word. You feel me? Oh, one more thing. I want to give a special shout out to Vaughn for reaching out to me. You know, brother, I've been watching you on TV for years now. So to text you and for you to reach out to me and tell me to continue to do what I'm doing, man. Oh man, that means, hey, it means the world to me. You feel me? So yeah, Gunfreak Nation, we got celebrities in Gunfreak Nation now. The brother don't subscribe to the channel and everything. And I, you know what? Let me take that back because the brother don't want me calling him a celebrity. But I'm sorry. I've been watching you for years on TV, man. So, you know, forgive me, brother, you know. But that's just to show you how humble this man is. And I appreciate it, man. And, you know, one day I would love to have you on on one of the podcasts, on one of, you know, I know he suggested that I start doing podcasts, you know, all the time. And I'm looking into doing that, you know, going live and doing podcasts and stuff. But he's a good dude. And, you know, welcome aboard to Gunfreak Nation, brother. I really do appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And I appreciate every single one of you. But yes, remain armed. And if you're not armed, get armed. Don't let nobody shame you because you want to buy a gun to protect your family. Get away from people like that, man. They don't know what they're doing. They clueless. They living in a bubble. This world is crazy. And you need to be ready. You need to be savage ready. But anyway, Gunfreak Nation, I love you. God bless America. God bless Gunfreak Nation. Listen, y'all stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous. And send that funky savage to Funky Town where he belongs. Don't let him get the drop on you. Don't become a future victim, okay? I love you, Gunfreak Nation. Salute. Keep on doing what you're doing. And once again, I want to thank everybody for reaching out to me. For real riches, hope, you know, a speedy recovery. My voice is slowly coming back. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm going to keep on doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? God is good. And especially when you can protect yourself, when you got a gun. That's all we need is God and guns. You know what I'm saying? Because God gave us the wisdom to go out and get that gun. I call them Funky Town centers, you know? So just get prepped up. We can always hope and pray for the best. But remember this, we always got to be prepped up and prepared for the worst. If you already ready, you ain't got to get ready. I love you, Gunfreak Nation. Salute.